In today's video, me and my friend Diamond Ninja have to survive 100 days in the Mandalorian universe. We have to collect Beskar ingots and craft the Mandalorian armor, find and repair our very own flying ships to survive the barren Tatooine wasteland, find the baby Yoda and defend him against anyone who wants to harm him, craft lightsabers and adventure deep into the dungeons to find legendary blasters, and complete the hardest bounty ever by hunting down a dangerous frost giant. Will we make it? Will we survive? Tune in to find out. As we spawned in on day 1, I found myself in a green field beside some water. I greeted my friend like I usually do, and we began running to gather supplies. Our first to-do task on the first day is to get some proper tools and explore the area we are in, but it doesn't take me long to find a group of clones hiding in the bushes. We don't know if they're friendly yet, so we decide to sneak our way past them to avoid any confrontation. I also throw out the animal guidebook that I got as I spawned in. We ran in the direction of the first mountain we saw, to get higher and see where we were. There were also some trees and bushes, and I gathered some wood to make us the tools we'd need. At the top I saw a kangaroo, and the world would be filled with different animals. The setting of the planet we are on is also more in the dry climate range, as the Mandalorian is actually on Tatooine. But we decided Tatooine would be a bad idea, because imagine being in a desert for the whole video. So yeah, we decided to keep to at least a bit of greenery. The zone we are in isn't the max green grass and trees type of level we will get in this world, and there's no forests on this planet. As we traverse the landscape a bit more, we find a nice place in the middle of the mountain we are standing on. Looking down, it's deep and also offers walls from every direction for natural protection. As we jump down using one of the waterfalls located down there, we get ourselves full stone tools to survive out in this world. If you're also new to the channel, then check out my friend's channel. His name is Diamond Ninja and it will be linked in the description. And as we're finished crafting, I scale the mountain to get outside, and upon reaching the top I see some weird looking animals down below. It's a pair of two and we decide that we need some food. But as I descend down and try to use my sword, I accidentally mount this thing. It's wild and I'm taken back for a moment. I did not realize at all that these were rideable, but luckily we didn't kill them. Instead, used them as our method of transportation. These things were fast, and I stopped beside a group of pigs. Killing them, I picked up some good old pork meat. My friend at the same time explored a little cave right beside me and got some coal and a few iron ores. We were making really good progress, and then I saw a wild Wookiee in the distance. It's the same guys as Chewbacca, but these lived like wild animals. We didn't approach it any closer as we had zero armor and it could kill us with 2 hits. But our final plan was to get Beskar Mandalorian armor. But as the sun was setting, we wanted to find some shelter really quickly. At night, a lot of droids scattered around the world become aggressive, and they run in squads and even use vehicles, so we didn't want to get caught by them. And as we used our mounts to get to this village, I ran around, saw what goods the villagers had to offer, found a chest with some bread, went inside one of the houses to get a blast furnace. These will be really useful down the line to smelt some rare ores we find. In another house, I mined some blocks which look like iron, but they were just smooth sandstone or something like that. And as it got really late, we put down some beds we stole from the other house into this little house, and slept for the night, ending the first day. And in the morning, some villager opened our door and rudely awoken us to get out, so I ran out and got their village bell. It looked golden and I just couldn't resist. The sun was also shining really brightly and it was scorching hot. Remember that this planet's max vegetation was a few little trees scattered in a barren wasteland. So yeah, we'd need to think about the heat when we were deciding on the type of base we'd build. We also found a mama bear and her cub, but then a creeper came from behind. He blew me up, but that didn't kill the bears. Although the next thing I know, my friend was shouting for help because the mama bear attacked him. We had to put her down, but we didn't touch the little cub. Grow up strong, little guy. We believe in you. But we got back on our weird looking mounts and went into the wild tundra. We got some wood along the road, and then finally after a while found a cave. I crafted some torches before we'd go in, and descending down, a skeleton out of nowhere starts shooting us. I don't even see him because of how dark it is down there, but we really don't want to risk our game for him, and we don't have any shields yet, so we play it safe and take our time killing him. I get to 2.5 hearts, but also get the Monster Hunter achievement. These old world mobs are supposed to be an easy obstacle compared to the droids and siths we will face in this playthrough. Tusken, which are sand people that reside on Tatooine, will be our main problem down the line in the future. But as we cooked up some pork chops and used the blast furnace to smelt some more, we went deeper into the cave to find more minerals. This was a short trip just to get us at least some iron sets of armor so that we could defend ourselves against mobs. And as we finished smelting ore to get us some tools and 2 chest plates, we went up to the cave entrance. This was a new day and we wanted to start this day with a big task of finding the best place for a base. But before that, we found a wild bantha. These were like yaks, but way bigger, and my friend decided to ride it as his new mount, as it had more health and could survive more fall damage traversing these cliffs. But traveling a great distance, reaching the dead desert tundra, I see a spaceship in the distance. It's guarded by some clones, but we decide that we absolutely need it. So we start attacking the clones. They do really heavy damage and drop me to low health, but we manage to take care of them, and then my friend takes the ship for a spin, which is awesome. We then get ready and decide that I'll follow him with his bantha, while my friend is on the flying ship we just found. And just like that, we spend a lot of time running, until we find a really good place to build the base. It's at one of the mountains we saw before, and on top of it we got a lot of visibility from each direction. Because it's also late, we decide to build a quick shelter that is gonna be temporary. And we decide to use sandstone as we are in a desert, and because of the hot climate, we wanna keep the house cool. Sandstone is gonna do that better than any wood or stone block. And as morning hit, my friend places a chest for me. He places it in a questionable position, but I don't care, and put my stuff inside. Today our goal was to traverse some ground by foot and explore our surroundings better. Going down we find a bunch of Ewoks. These are small little guys. They're also friendly and don't really do much. And coming across a green field, we see a droid ground gun. My friend sits in it, but there's no ammo. It looks like there was a big battle here at some point, or it's a sort of defense system for somebody. But then we get a clue as to why the gun might have been stationed there, as in the distance there's a village. This one's new, and I take some wheat they have for bread. And exploring it a little bit more, we go across into a thick green field. It has a lot of vegetation, and we actually find a little baby Yoda there. We catch it and feed it some tasty frogs I found earlier. It's crazy that we find him here in this really tall filled grass. He must have got lost from the village, but we decided to take him home with us. But before that we mine a little bit of ore in a cave nearby. as we really want full iron armor to protect ourselves. And going deeper into the cave is pretty big. We find a dungeon inside. These dungeons consist of a group of spawners in different rooms and also chests filled with loot. We clear the skeleton spawner, but because our armor is low, it's kinda risky to attempt this so early into the game. As I loot a chest, I find some gunpowder and iron ingots. And as we go in, there's a black scary droid with red eyes in there. I get attacked by him, but luckily, with my shield I block his attacks and kill him. Without a shield this would be impossible, so I'm glad we crafted them before going in here. We also begin smelting iron ore we found in the cave while mining, and combining it with the iron ingots from the chests to craft us better armor. And entering the final room, there was some ice on the floor and the ceiling, so I guess this was a nice room. But we cleared it and I looted the chests. And inside one I found a snowy temple map. My friend found a map as well, and these were the coordinates of an underground dungeon with more loot. This was awesome, but before we could get there we wanted to crash at the base and prepare ourselves for this battle. And as we got back, I found our Yoda was taking damage. It must have been because we just killed a witch here and she poisoned the baby Yoda, but he didn't die and was fine. So we went to sleep to end the day. And on the next day we got a plan to build a landing platform for the ship we found. We decided that we'd both have ships, and not to waste any time with landing them in weird positions, especially on a mountain like this with little room, we built our first platform. It was made of sandstone as well, as we got a lot of it while renovating the ground for the base. It also really fitted the Mandalorian theme of Tatooine and the desert, but at the end we were done. I went to the ship and started flying it to land it on the platform. It felt awesome as these ships were so fast, and I also couldn't wait until we find one for me. But the landing strip worked perfectly, and we were done with it for now. So I got some blaster parts from one of the chests. A lot of droids dropped them when killed, so we had a few, and I tried combining it to make a blaster. But sadly I couldn't craft anything, but my friend managed to craft himself a blaster, and it was awesome. He dropped it on the ground for me to check out, and all I gotta say is it felt really cool. The bullets also did a lot of damage. But a blaster like this wasn't our end goal. We wanted to craft bigger and better rifles, but for that we'd need more materials, so a blaster like this was just for early game. And we decided to renovate the base and expand it. My friend worked on the second floor, and I was redoing the entrance. I found an axe in my chest, which by the way is an awful design flaw. We gotta move it at some point. And I redid the entrance so it fit more of a sand hut style. And then just helped my friend Diamond Ninja get the second floor done. But while building I heard some blaster shots below, and running to look down, I saw some killer droids just finishing off the last clone trooper. They must have had a battle there. And I jumped down the waterfall to land and help kill the droids. We can't have no droids lurking around our base, but the damage they did was insane, and it was a tough fight not to die. While my friend killed the droid attacking me, he got attacked by one from behind. But after I took care of it, we were done, and had a ton of more blaster parts now. But soon enough, after we got the base done and also cleared everything, we were ready to go on another expedition. We had 2 Banfas, and were ready to ride them into the Lifeless desert for a goal, to find some dungeons. They were scattered around the map and I saw a few before. They were difficult but had really good chances at some of the most endgame loot ever, and we would need it to become fully fledged bounty hunters. And while on the road we came across a group of traveling Ewoks. They were peaceful and we just watched them do their thing. But in the distance I saw a big tower. This was a dungeon. We found a dungeon just by chance because we decided to stop by and look at some Ewoks. So yeah, luck was definitely on our side. As we came closer, I had to go through really thick trees. This was difficult on a Banfa mount. And coming closer to the entrance, there were a few mobs already there. We killed them and then saw a friendly mechanic sort of droid. You know, the ones that fix your spaceship when you land in Tatooine if you watched Mandalorian. But we proceeded to enter the dungeon. They worked by having spawners on every floor, and each floor becoming more difficult but with more loot. And the loot of the dungeons was also random, so we could get good loot from chests in one dungeon, but then really bad loot from all the chests in the dungeon. I destroyed a spawner and looted some gold armor. And then also found a hidden barrel. If I didn't open it, we probably would have missed it, but there was some gold loot inside. And as we went further up, there were more mobs, spawners, and also chests to loot. And once at the very top, there was a ton of golden blocks. We mined them to use for golden apples, so now we could take on far more dangerous mobs. But as we were taking in the picturesque surroundings, we suddenly got attacked by some wisps. They must have been part of the dungeon. We tried killing them, but they were so little and it was so hard to catch them. And after that, it was getting a bit late, so we just jumped down into a pond and continued riding on our Banfas. And then we came across another dungeon temple. This was really good as we wanted to farm them as much as possible for some gold loot. There were also some Jedis outside just chilling. I guess they were guarding it to stop any ill-prepared adventurers going in. But as we went inside, the first chest was empty, but the second one had Beskar ingots inside. This was awesome, as it meant this dungeon will have gold loot in every chest, and with Beskar ingots we can craft Mandalorian armor. Climbing up to the second floor, there are skeletons on it. We clear the spawner and loot the chests, finding more good loot. And climbing to the third floor, there's a bunch of zombies. I destroyed the spawner and loot the gold armor stand. Checking the chest and also finding more goodies. And on a higher floor, there's also a ton of Beskar ingots and gunpowder in another chest. But after more floors, we find a map. I look at it and it's another treasure one. My friend shows me his map he got from the first dungeon we ever did way back. And we decide that we need to actually go and find whatever is on these maps. And on the top there's also more golden blocks. Perfect for our golden apples when we get back to base. And to descend down, I came up with a genius idea to just dig down. This genius method gets us back to the first floor in no time. But looking outside, there's patrolling droids. They have a flying ship which looks to be heading our way, so we quickly hide and decide to find a way to get out of here without them noticing us, as a ship this big is not something we can manage while we still don't have Beskar or Mandalorian armor. But once we get out, we decide to make a daring dash straight to the Banshee mounts. They are fast, and if we make it there without the ship seeing and blasting us to pieces, then we can safely get away from this place really fast. And running, we quickly get on the mounts and escape. And once back at base, we can finally craft the Mandalorian armor using the Beskar ingots. I get to a crafting bench and make Beskar nuggets out of them, and then we craft the armor. I make a helmet first and it just looks amazing. Beskar armor is really good at protecting against blasters, but not so much against normal Minecraft creatures, so that's why it doesn't fill in the whole armor bar, but luckily we aren't fighting against normal mobs. And once I finish crafting it, a traveling merchant approaches our base. We literally don't know how he got here, as we are on such a steep mountain. But hey, I guess his business is real tough if he travels these distances just to get to his customers. We browsed his wares, but there wasn't anything we really wanted. He also asked for emeralds, which we didn't have at all. So yeah, it was kind of a waste of time for him to climb all the way here. And as I went inside the base to check if our blast furnaces would smelt sand, sadly they didn't. We needed sand because we were gonna craft some lightsabers. And yeah, we needed to prepare some items for them. They weren't that hard to get, and we luckily had all the materials we would need. And while I wait for more glass, I give some to my friend. He will make his lightsaber first. And all you really need for mine was a block of lapis lazuli, which we already had. A stained purple glass which I was making, and all of that on a stick. and once I finally crafted it, it looked amazing. The quality of these lightsabers was really impressive, and it was cool that we got to wield them although we weren't Jedi. We were getting a lot closer to that. But my friend also noticed he can dual wield a lightsaber and a blaster at once. So I tried it as well, and well, with a setup like this, you basically are a god at both short and long range. So now we were really ready to go exploring for the hidden dungeons using the maps we both found. And as we got ready to head out, we went to our banfas and started riding following the map's directions. It was pretty hard as the map only shows a dot on the side somewhere that is your position, and you couldn't really tell if you were going to the point it showed or away from it. But after a few days, I look at the map and we finally reached the destination. Diamond Ninja starts digging at his own side, and I line up for mine too. We both dig at different locations to make sure that we don't miss the dungeon. But while digging, he says he found it. I dig my way to his hole, but I'm amazed at how he digged. While I was breaking blocks 2 by 2, he just went deep with 1 block. I don't know how he got this accuracy from such a map, but that's really cool. As I got down, we were in a dungeon again, and then it clicked that these dungeons are the hidden temples from the map, and the reason we saw one at the very beginning of our adventure was because we got really lucky and found it without a map. And after we finish clearing it, I loot the final chests, and then we decide to throw the maps away into the lava not to waste any inventory space. The 2 different maps we had actually led to the same exact dungeon, so it was pretty useless to keep them anymore. And as we got back up, the sun was already setting in. We decided to call it a day and head back to base using our mounts. We cleared the underground dungeons. But then while running through the desert, we came across a group of Tusken raiders surrounding a ship. We decide to go in and kill them, as it looks like they captured a good flying ship. I wanted to see if it could still fly, and finding a ship like this guarded by just Tusken was really lucky, as I really wanted a ship for a few days now. And sure enough, it flied perfectly. I took it for a few spins, and the speed was amazingly fast. I landed and told my friend to follow me back to the base using his bantha, and that's how we traveled back. When I got to base, it was already night time. I landed it in front of the base as we didn't have a landing post yet, and went to bed. And on the next day I got outside and helped my friend build an expansion to the landing platform. We were both now with our own flying ships, and it would be really cool if we could make this base support them. The location of the base being on the mountain was also really useful, as we didn't need to watch out for anything in our path while flying to base, and it also helped against droids getting too close. For example, that time we found a group of them fighting down below in the valley of the mountain. And as I got the support beams placed, the platform was complete. We could now hold 2 ships easily and take off and land without any worries. I took my ship and landed it on the platform for the first time, and it was really easy to control, so this was an awesome improvement to the quality of life on this base. And after some brainstorming, I went into the base to find some iron and craft a bucket. We wanted to go to the nether, and for that we would need obsidian. We didn't want to go mining for it because that would be boring. So we decided to use our ships to fly around the map and find an open lava puddle. But before that, my friend and I had a race to see who could gather water first. From the top of the mountain right to the bottom. Me with my feet or him with his flying ship. And yeah, I don't think I have to tell you who won this one. But as we said our goodbyes to Baby Yoda, we sat on our ships and started flying. Yep, just 2 bodies on a pair of flying ships blasting at light speed through Minecraft. It also took a while, but we finally found an open lava puddle. We landed the ships and went in. I poured the water bucket over the lava and we started mining obsidian for the nether portal. We wanted to go to the nether as we got word that there was a really special weapon hidden in there in some fortress, and we really wanted to see what kind of weapon it'd be. And breaking the obsidian blocks, I decided to play a little prank on my friend. I got behind his back and pushed him into the lava. And then I poured the water bucket over him, because of course I'm just such a good friend. And needless to say, my friend was probably shook till the very end of this playthrough. But to make it even, he then actually got me into a puddle of lava as well. These were some dangerous games we were playing on hardcore. But as we got enough blocks, it was time to head back to base and build the nether portal. We had one goal in mind: get that super classified weapon, and then finally become real bounty hunters. And we are making all of these preparations because we don't want to be ill-prepared. For any monsters we may come across as bounty hunters. And once we got back to base, it was already night time. We landed the ships and I got out. We greeted baby Yoda and I fed him some pork chops. And then we started putting down the portal. I messed up a block like always, so we had to fix it. And then for the final part, I needed to light the portal using flint and steel. But decided to mess with Diamond Ninja a bit by putting him on fire. When he got on top of a bench thinking he's safe, I made a fire behind him and pushed him in. But after we messed about, I finally lit the portal up, and we went into the nether. And once I got in, we found ourselves on some random hill. I looked down and saw that a weird pigman was waiting for me to come down. He was one of those guys that Jabba the Hutt had in his little tavern, or whatever you called it. But whenever we killed him, we ran further ahead, and I almost got killed by a random mob because I wasn't paying attention. Luckily, I had enough armor and managed to survive, so we moved on. I found some weird biome and collected some glowing stones. We could use them at our base to light up the landing strip better.
Roger.
But while my friend was crafting golden apples for us at a bench, a sneaky pigman attacked him. I defended Diamond Ninja, and it was again one of those guys that we saw in the Jabba the Hutt locations. I never knew they'd be here in the nether, but that was pretty interesting to see. They were in fact pig-like, so I guess it makes sense that they are in the nether with the other pigmen. And as we went further, I finally found a fortress. It was at one of these locations that I heard the mega powerful blaster would be stored at. So as my friend painstakingly made the bridge across, he started building up, so to follow him I did too. But I didn't have enough materials and he had to drop me some and missed. As you can see, we were both pretty much on the edge as we were in the nether, above lava and in hardcore. Gotta be really careful at parts like these. But once I got up to, we digged inside and found some pigmen already waiting for us. We fought them through a hole we made, and then finally stepped foot inside the fortress. Somewhere here was the weapon, hiding for us to find. I also found a chest and there were golden nuggets and ghast tears inside. We already had pretty good loot, so this wasn't kind of a big find though. So we made our way deeper into the fortress. But getting kind of confused with the layout, we finally reach a little lava bridge. There is a golden block in it, so we mine it for more golden apples. And then go across it and find ourselves in this labyrinth type of building. There's chests and it also goes down below. We figured that with the chest with the legendary blaster would be somewhere at the end of the dungeon. So we start descending down, killing any pigmen we see and looting any chests we find. I get dropped to pretty low health, and this is kinda dangerous, but we manage to slowly and surely make our way to the bottom floor.
Roger, roger.
There's magma slimes there, and we also see a group of mole mandos in the center. This means they are guarding something really valuable. So we have a fierce battle on the lava, building to them and defending ourselves against their blasters. They are tough and each has a lot of health, but we managed to bring them down one by one. And once I finish off some of the magma slimes we missed earlier, I go to see what's inside the chest, but my friend already picked up the blaster. If you haven't guessed by its model what its name is, it's the Mando's Disintegrator. He used it I think in season 2 of the show, and it's just overall quite an awesome weapon. It uses blaster ammo and just obliterates any enemy we shoot. I fire it a couple of times too to see how cool it is. give it back and then start heading back to the portal. Our mission here was done. We got the best rifle in the game and were ready to take on any bounties we wanted. And heading back, I get shot at by some random droid. I fall and take some damage, but with the Mandalorian Beskar gear we got on now, I don't really fear the blaster bullets dealing too much damage to me. So after we come closer to the portal, we come out and it's already dark. We decide to sleep the day, finishing it on a successful run into the Nether with a successful item, Mando's very own disintegrator blaster. And on the next day, I craft some more chests and place them in the base as we got a lot more loot now. Craft some golden apples for our next adventure and also place around the glowing blocks I found from the Nether. And after a little break, we finally pack everything for the big journey to become fully fledged bounty hunters. Our first bounty. But for that, we need to find a village that has a bounty board. These boards are pretty rare and don't spawn in every village. And it takes some time for us to actually locate one. And as we landed, we had a look around this village. I picked up some melons and also saw a bunch of Jedis standing guard. This meant that this village was controlled by the Republic and that we could find some good old bounty hunter work here. And sure enough, here was the notice board. At the moment there were only 3 wanted posters. And we took the Frost Giant poster, as it said 80 Republic coins, which is more than any other ones on this wall. We had a chat with the local Jedis and found out the direction to go to the Frost Giant's location. His name sounded intimidating, but we had full Beskar armor, lightsabers, and also even a Mando's blaster rifle. We were geared to the teeth, and this was our final test to become bounty hunters. As we rode into the sunset, our goal was to find a snow biome southeast of this village. The Jedis said it would take days and that the place was dangerous, but we had to be tough as bounty hunters. So we scrubbed off the dangerous warnings and still headed towards the frost-ridden place where the giant was located. But as we got closer, I noticed snowflakes falling. Looking down, we were in the snow biome. I picked out a good spot to land the ship in an open area, but as I touched the ground, I heard blaster shots. Turning around and running towards them, it was my friend Diamond Ninja. And it seemed he was ambushed by droids as soon as he landed his ship. As we fought them off, this showed us that the place was under the Empire's rule. The droids were defending the place for some reason. But we started building up one of the mountains. The frost giant is said to live in high places, and who saw his slayer said that it's a cave at the very peak of some cliff. The journey was treacherous and the conditions were harsh in the snow, but our final task was to defeat our very first bounty target that would allow us to be fully accepted into the Mandalorian race. And then we'd gain access to more of their weapons and armor, but that's for another episode, so comment down below if you want a part 2. But closing in, we finally reached the frost giant. The cave was also filled with snow, ice and lava. It looked like this cave was not habitable by anyone, but this giant was different. As we crept up to him, he awoke and we started the encounter. The cave was filled with bone block statues which I used to hide behind from his attacks. He had a lot of health and even our lightsabers couldn't do the job cleanly. I had to eat mid-fight to regain my health. And the lava pools also didn't help, as he did an area of attack which knocked us back.
Roger, roger.
I couldn't even start to think about how we could defeat the giant without having any lightsabers. But yeah, it was really great that we came prepared, and as I swung my saber the last few times, the giant fell. I got an achievement, Rude Awakening, and he also dropped some item. It was called an ice crystal, and when used it fired a cone of frost in front of the player. If you aimed it at any mob or at a player, they would freeze in place for 3 seconds. It also recharged over time when you didn't use it, so it didn't have any lifespan. And after playing with the ice crystal, I found a chest in the cave. The giant beast was defending it, and inside I found something really special. It was a snow blaster. It didn't come with any ammo, but it looked really awesome. And I said that I'll make sure to craft some ammo for it when we get back home. But for now, we were too excited with the accomplishment of finally killing our first bounty. The snowy blaster was an icing on top of this accomplishment. And once we scavenged the cave enough, we started heading back to the ships we came with. It will be grueling as the temperatures dropped severely since it became nighttime. We were in a snow biome with Mandalorian armor, which was primarily made to operate in Tatooine. And running along the path we came across countless more mobs. I cleared them with my lightsaber as we ventured on. And finally, coming closer to the ships, we made it back. As I got into the pilot seat and flied off with my friend following behind me, we now had a long journey back home. I really wanted to craft some ammo and test out this new blaster, and then we'd also need to go back to the village and show the ice crystal to collect the 80 Republic coins reward for the bounty. And as we made it back to the base, it was daytime. I greeted the little baby Yoda and went to craft some blaster ammo. If you got questions as to why baby Yoda didn't come along with us that much, it's because we don't want to endanger him really. If he got killed or lost while we were out, I know you guys would never forgive us, so having him here to guard the base was the best choice we came up with. But if you made it this far into the video, then drop a comment down below on what you want to see next. If you subscribed, then don't forget to turn on the notification bell, because you don't want to miss the adventures we're having. My friend Diamond Ninja's channel will also be in the description, so go check him out and support his videos as well. He records from his point of view, but not only that, he also makes other different adventures like 100 days in the Arctic and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.